Well, how did you like that new sounder for today? Reveille. Now, they don't play Reveille at White Stallion Ranch. You can just sleep in as long as you want. However, when I went for my 6 o'clock coffee, guess what? The Wranglers were already up and doing their things, getting ready for the people who are going to enjoy a cowboy experience, a Western tradition. You see, today we're going to tell you a little bit about this idea called dude ranching, guest ranching. What in the world is that all about? Well, you need to know, because it just might help save your soul and save Western civilization. That's what the program is all about, and it begins right now. Okay, I should have your attention if you're smart and want to learn new things. And I have Russell True. And the line is, all of his stories may not be real, but they're all true. Russell, welcome to your place, White Stallion Ranch.
Well, thanks for talking to me. You know, we don't have Reveille, but we do have the traditional Dude Ranch dinner and breakfast and lunch bell. So
it's wonderful. Yes, they do. And by the way, I'm going to just put this in. My wife joined me for this experience, and she's never really been quite into it, but she loved it. And now the thing that locked it in, we have, as many of you know I've talked about, we have a little special needs grandson, and of course that's the center of her life. And Russell described for me just how they could take a little 6-year-old and actually give him a horse ride. And
right, and because he's, you know, a little bit smaller and you know, ordinarily a 6-year-old could go out and ride actually the trails on their own. But for those who are too small, we just, the wrangler leads the horse and one of the parents walks alongside and they get to have that horse experience.
When I told Karen that, Russell, her entire countenance was changed. She said, that's what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Russell is the leader of what I sometimes say, a growing family of ranches, and all of them have a history. You see, dude ranching is not where just Marriott decides to put up a hotel someplace. It's a very different experience. So, Russell, I'm just going to shut up and take off my hat. By the way, take off your hat so you don't knock over the microphone. Good. That's good, because he always wears his hat. Of course he is. He's a cowboy. Tell us, what is dude ranching, and what do dudes do on a dude ranch? Because many of our people just don't know.
Well, dude ranching actually was, at least I believe, and I don't think I'm wrong, that dude ranching was the West's first destination vacation. And it started, the Eaton's Ranch is the oldest. It started 1892 is when they first actually accepted money from a guest who stayed there. And they were a cattle ranch where people came and stayed with them, and they were out there to see that beautiful country of the West and experience that cowboy life. And, you know, of course, in the late 1800s, most of it was unspoiled, but it was still really different and really something to behold. And so these mostly moneyed elites that could take that time and make those trips came out, and they stayed at these ranches, and eventually at the Eatons, they convinced the Eaton family to accept money. Dude ranching was born. It was probably born a few other places. So today, some dude ranches are really, and Eaton still exists, by the way. 5th generation of the family operates it. Wonderful, wonderful place. It was like a pilgrimage to me when I got to go there. They still, it's a big ranch. They take 120 or so guests, and that's big for dude ranching. But those folks, you know, they have really good food and a lot of buildings. It's a big facility, but they kind of stick to the core of dude ranching, which were the first 3 H's of what the Dude Ranchers Association call the 6 H's, and those are horses, hats, and hospitality. And those are certainly there. You know, you can ride till you just can't ride anymore. Hats means real cowboys, and they sure are, and hospitality in that special Western brand, and So at a dude ranch, you're going to get that. And the Dude Ranchers Association added heritage, heart, and honesty, and those are all there too. And at some dude ranches, you're going to have horses, hats, and hospitality, and of course the other three too. But there's not going to be a tennis court or a bar or a swimming pool. It's going to be, you might even be in somebody's home that runs cattle, and you're experiencing that along with them. On the other end of that spectrum are some really high-end dude ranches. My son worked at one called Triple Creek outside Darby, Montana. Very high-end, but it still has that atmosphere, that very unique dude ranch atmosphere. They've done a brilliant job there. Tanque Verde here in Tucson, large resort style, lots and lots of activities, facilities, etc. So there's a dude ranch for everybody, whether it's basically being cowboys along with the cowboys at their cattle ranch, or experiencing all those things, but in a pretty diverse setting and lots of amenities and luxury.
Well, now once a person says, okay, right now people are thinking, what kind of new experiences should I have? And I'm now saying is, if you don't have this on your bucket list, you're not ready. You should at least have this kind of an experience, because it will perhaps be something your family, not only you, but your family can join in. And is that a lot of what it's becoming, hopefully, where families are coming together to learn some things together, reunions and things like that?
Well, I wouldn't say it's becoming that. It's been that. And that's how dude ranching got started. I mean, our little group reopened OTO, Montana's first dude ranch, hadn't had guests in 83 years, and we operated it for 1 month this summer. And 83 years ago it was families, and I'm sure they had reunions. Reunions have always come to dude ranches, certainly in my 57 years experience, because it's a place where you can kind of keep people focused and give people, particularly at a bigger ranch like here at White Stallion, where you have some diversity. If they don't want to ride, they can go swim and do the hiking or the e-bikes or rock climb or do all this shooting stuff that we do. So everybody can find something to do. I mean, we're not a slick beach vacation, but there's plenty of those. So has it been that way? Yeah. But I think what we're seeing now, because dude ranches, whether they're big, small, diverse, or basic, luxury or basic, they're in the bullseye, where even the biggest of us, we're outside, we're uncrowded, we're all the things that people want, and even if the virus isn't scaring you or didn't, cities aren't the place to be right now. So dude ranches are kind of in the heat of the moment.
Well, let's say someone would be brave right now, and it's going to be a little brave to ever do something new. How would a person just start to say, you know what, we're going to do a dude ranch experience? How should they start looking, or who can they talk to, or how would they learn more about it?
Well, I guess I have, you.
Well, first of all, tell them about White Stallion.
You can do a web search, and of course, White Stallion, where we're sitting, is our family ranch, 57 years, and I'm second generation, and my third generation son and his wife are involved, and certainly my brother and his wife and my wife. I'm probably the least important at this point in life. I've probably moved to that part, but we've got a little group called True Ranch Collection, and people can do a web search for that and find 5 great ranches. Dude Ranchers Association is a great place to go. They go through a 2-year vetting process, and they have that diverse offering. So it's not as if they're focusing on one type of dude ranch. They're focusing on quality. So the Dude Ranch Association, they say, yeah, we want that little cow outfit that does a great job, and we want that luxury ranch. We want all of them. But they've got one thing in common, 2 things in common. They've got the 6 H's of the Dude Ranchers Association, and they've got quality. So go to duderanch.org, O-R-G. That's a great place.
Okay. Now, one person actually said to me, and I can think of it, he said, you know what, Stan, when I was 10 years old, my grandpa put me on a horse, and I accidentally yelled, "Let's go!" And that horse went, and so did I. And he said, "I'm kind of scared. Can I start over again?" What if you haven't had any experience with a horse, or like my friend? How do you help a person who's never been on a horse? Because obviously you've got people who are really, they're expert riders, but you got people who maybe have never done this before.
Right. And, good dude ranches accommodate that every day. Okay. And here at White Stallion, we have a little different approach than some ranches. If you're an advanced rider, and if you take right now in this space and time, we have quite a few advanced riders. And that's not uncommon for us here, particularly in certain parts of the year. And so we have horses that they're going to like. Because they want, advanced rider wants a bit of forward going, and they want them to be tuned up a little. They don't want to be kicking their way down the trail to lope. But at the same time, any dude ranch is going to have a horse that's going to suit that beginner, or, your 10-year-old friend's story. We hear that 100 times a year. Well, I went to Uncle Joe's and the horse ran off and knocked me off under a tree, and I'm never going to ride a horse again. So we hear that all the time. It happens way too often. And the Uncle Joe's farm seems to be a very dangerous place out there. And dude ranches, there's a certain, we like to say it's an adventure to ride a horse. It's an activity with an uncertain outcome. But we're going to make it as safe as you can do it and still be riding a real live, thinking, reacting horse. So we overcome those bad experiences all the time. And we as a collective, good dude ranches, that's what we do. And we think it's about the horse and the system, and we at our ranches do it well.
Well, as I said, my wife, who's becoming more and more of a hero of that kind of experience, and this is brand new for her. Again, when she found out that she could take her grandson to the ranch, that's got her signing up right now. But I also remember when we first visited, something happened. Being the kind of extrovert she is, married to an introvert, and as I say, opposites attract, and they sometimes attack, and things like that. We all go through that. But she actually asked one of the ladies at the bar. She said, instead of saying, "What did you do?" She said, "What happened to you at the ranch?" And I never forgot that young woman turned to my wife and said, "You know what? For the first time in my life, I became brave." And that really strikes a chord that can happen. I also know that two people said to me, "I haven't been without television this long for a long time, and it's really pretty good for me." So those are the kinds of unique experiences you can have.
Well, I'm the carpenter who thinks a hammer and a nail is the answer to every question. I think there's a dude range for everybody, and I think it truly is verging on unique. It has a lot of components there's certain aspects of a cruise. It's all there. It has certain aspects of a boutique lodge that includes meals, but there aren't a lot of those. And so there's the interaction with the staff and the owners or the managers, but there's also a high degree. Where do you go on a vacation that you end up taking people's emails and phone numbers, and our guests do it all the time, and they end up coming back at the same time. They organize, and they could be from all over the world, literally, because at any one time we usually have anywhere from 3 to 8 different countries in-house.
I've heard some non-English.
and this month is the first time since this whole insanity happened that it looks and feels just exactly like it did in 2018 or something. And everybody's back traveling, and you hear all those accents once again. And we love that. And more importantly, our guests love that.
Right.
And they, where else do you get to go? And, right now we have people from Sweden, England always, Germany, Netherlands, and another country that's, if I said Germany, but there's
I met
one.
someone from Denmark.
Denmark's the other one.
Yes.
Denmark's the other one. So you don't see that everywhere.
Well, also, let me just tell you, because we've gone our 15 minutes and it's all been worthwhile. But you see, every ranch is special. Like you said, we just did. Some developer just didn't make a dude ranch. They all grew out of unique things, and the White Stallion has quite a history. And one of them is, this is where a lot of radio and television and old movies came from. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of those old-fashioned movies, that this was the place?
Well, it's a show that, that's the whole show. But the quick summary is 31 feature films. The first film, time-wise, was the 1938-39 blockbuster Western Arizona, which was William Holden's breakout film, and Gene Arthur was in it, and some of that was filmed here. The entire movie set of Old Tucson was created specifically for that movie, basically a recreation of Tucson in the mid-1800s. So that is possibly the first film that was shot here. It's the first one. I say possibly because we're always discovering a new film. Somebody will say, I was up late watching Grit or something. And so all the way up to, films have kind of left Arizona because we didn't have a tax incentive, but we just passed one. So they'll be coming back. I talked to 2 different filming groups yesterday. But George Clooney was here with Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Winchester 73, considered one of the 15 best ever made Westerns, was shot here. Jimmy Stewart, the original, and we do a lot of TV. We've done over 200 TV productions. High Chaparral, the 4-year running series, based on a real life guy. Big John Cannon was Pete Kitchen. Really lived here. Really fought the Indians, and so that was filmed here the whole 4 years. And we've done everything from 13 reality shows to BBC and PBS documentaries. We've done Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoots to Vogue. We've done 3 different Vogue shoots. It's absurd, the diverse. We've had 2-person crews and 150-person crews here shooting something. Name it, we've done it. We just did a John Pardee music video a couple years ago. Did 2 different rock videos. It's crazy.
There is no place like a dude ranch, and there's no place like White Stallion Ranch. So, hey, why don't you put that on your, you know what, we're going to do that sometime soon. And I'll just encourage you to make sure that you find out. Now, I can help you also. Remember, StanHouston@gmail.com, StanHouston@gmail.com, and I'll make sure that Russell gets a hold of you. And also, tell the story, share the story. These are things that will help keep our lives together when we learn what has brought us together in the past. And we're going to do more of that. Hey, thank you so much. Interesting ideas. We come your way. Interesting people have interesting ideas, so they can walk into the world with a greater insight, greater influence, make some impact in the world, and who knows, you might even have a little more income in your life. So that's what we want. Interesting ideas. I'm Stan Houston. Thank you for your time. All the best and blessings to you. Ride safely, but make sure you ride somewhere good for all. Take care, and bye for now.